You know, in any factory, the machines, they're really the beating heart of the whole operation. But what happens when that heart stops? We're about to dive into the supercritical world of industrial maintenance and see how the right strategy can turn a potential disaster into a real competitive advantage.
I mean, really think about that for a second. When a key piece of equipment goes down, it is not a minor hiccup. The entire production line can just grind to a halt. Suddenly, orders are delayed, schedules are completely thrown into chaos, and the pressure starts mounting. It's a massive ripple effect.
And that pressure? Oh yeah, it's measured in dollars. Lots of them. In the auto industry, for instance, a single minute of unplanned downtime can cost upwards of $20,000. That is a staggering figure, and it really just highlights how incredibly high the stakes are.
So let's actually talk about that cost. Because when a machine fails, the price tag is way bigger than just a replacement part or a mechanic's time. This is a cascading failure with some seriously painful financial consequences. Just look at how these costs stack up. You've got the obvious loss of production, right? But then you have to add in the emergency repair costs, which are always more expensive. You're paying overtime to get people to scramble and get things running again. And maybe the biggest hit of all, damaging your reputation with customers because of delayed deliveries. It's a really costly chain reaction.
Okay, so how do you fight back against all this downtime? Well, the two primary weapons in the industrial arsenal are preventive and predictive maintenance. Now, they might sound kind of similar, but trust me, their philosophies are fundamentally different. Let's break them down.
This really shows the core difference perfectly. Think of preventative maintenance like a scheduled oil change for your car. You do it every 5,000 miles, no questions asked. Predictive maintenance, on the other hand, it's more like your check engine light. It uses real-time data to tell you exactly when something needs your attention. So one is based on a calendar, the other is based on actual conditions.
So in practice, preventative maintenance means doing all those routine, scheduled tasks. It's a reliable, time-tested approach, to stop problems before they can even start. The only downside? You might end up replacing a part that still had hundreds of hours of life left in it, which, isn't the most efficient way to do things.
Now, let's look at predictive maintenance. This is the really smart, data-driven approach. It often uses things like IoT sensors to listen for tiny changes in vibration, or even machine learning to analyze performance data and predict when a part is likely to fail. Maintenance only gets done when it's truly needed. It's incredibly efficient. But here's the thing. It doesn't matter what strategy you use. If you aren't tracking your performance, you're basically just guessing. And that's where reliability metrics come in. These are the numbers that tell you exactly how well your equipment and your whole maintenance program are actually performing.
First up is MTBF, or mean time between failures. This is your core measure of reliability. It answers a really simple question. On average, how long does this machine run perfectly before it breaks down? And of course, a higher MTBF is always better. It means more uptime and more reliability.
And the formula to figure it out is beautifully simple. You just take the total time the machine was running and divide it by the number of times it failed during that period. So for example, if a machine ran for 1,000 hours and it broke down 5 times, you'd have an MTBF of 200 hours. This number gives you a really clear benchmark. You can ask yourself, is 200 hours good enough? Or does our maintenance program need to push that number way higher? The other side of the coin here is MTTR, or mean time to repair. So once a machine fails, how long does it actually stay down? This metric measures how efficient your repair team is. For this one, a lower number is what you're aiming for. You want those repairs to be as fast as humanly possible.
And again, the math is super straightforward. It's just the total time you spent on all the repairs divided by the number of breakdowns you had. So if those same 5 breakdowns took a total of 10 hours to fix, your MTTR is 2 hours. Knowing this helps you identify bottlenecks. Do you need better training for your team? Faster troubleshooting procedures? Or, maybe the real delay is coming from not having the right parts on hand.
And that thought brings us to our final and absolutely critical piece of the puzzle. See, you can have the best strategy and the fastest technicians in the world, but if you don't have the right spare part when you need it, your machine is still down. Smart spare parts management is completely non-negotiable. A really great strategy is to classify your parts. Critical spares are the ones you absolutely must have on the shelf, because a failure would be just catastrophic. Routine spares are for all your planned maintenance stuff. And emergency spares, well, those are for the rare but vital components you hope you never need, but you'll be so glad you have them when you do.
Okay, so when you combine a smart maintenance strategy, a focus on key metrics like MTBF and MTTR, and an organized approach to spare parts, you get a really powerful result. This is where you move from just reacting to breakdowns to proactively engineering reliability. The payoff is crystal clear. You dramatically reduce your downtime, which of course boosts reliability and your overall production efficiency. And when you're more efficient and have fewer emergencies, your operational costs just naturally go down. It is a win across the board.
And that leaves us with one final thought. Look, having equipment that runs, that's just the baseline. But having a system that anticipates failures, maximizes uptime, and drives efficiency, that is what separates the leaders from the pack. So the real question you have to ask is, are you just reacting, or are you truly engineering for success?